Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the sarcastic barman and welcome to my channel. Now, we had such fun looking at the Flat Earth Dublin tour that I thought there's no goddamn way I'm looking at the rest of that video. God damn it. So I thought we'd check out the website, which is here. Look at that. Not actually a bad website, to be fair. But we'll start at the top and I think we're going to work our way through this crap. 35 questions in 35 minutes. Yeah, there's going to be some movie magic making that a bit faster, isn't there? Oh well, let's have some fun.
No one is 100% certain about what the flat Earth looks like, but the azimuthal equidistant projection map that is used by the USGS is the flat Earth map. The United Nations, oddly enough, uses the flat Earth map as its logo and divides it into 33 Masonic sections. The Gleason's map is also used as a representation of the flat Earth. On the flat Earth map, North is in the center, while South, or Antarctica, is surrounding Earth with the continents and oceans inside. Mercator's map from 1569 is also a flat Earth map showing a magnetic mountain in the north with 4 continents surrounding it. The ancients had their own depictions of a flat Earth.
See, this always bugs me about flat earthers. We don't know what the flat earth looks like exactly, but we think it looks like this. Now, here's my advice for the flat earthers. Get a goddamn boat and just sail around the earth. You're raising money for all sorts of other crap, and some organisations that are part of the flat earth make a shitload of money. Well, put that money into a boat and sail round the earth. Sail up and down America, South America, go from South America all the way across to Australia and just measure the distance. You don't have to use satellites, do it the old-fashioned way. Take your average speed, measure your course. Make a fucking map. So, yeah, and as for the UN map, nobody cares about 33. Really, nobody. The only reason it's an equatorial distance map like that is so no country is in the middle. It's nice and even for every country. And the ancient civilizations, yeah, we have satellites, so screw you.
Who's to say there is an edge? Most people's first reaction to flat Earth is that there must be an edge, but is that because of how it is presented to us? On the current flat Earth model, there is no edge, but rather a 360-degree wall of ice surrounding Earth holding the oceans in. Again, no one is 100% certain that this ice wall exists, because for more than 50 years, there has existed an international Antarctic treaty stating that no civilian can travel there without government approval. There are pre-approved guide tours that exist, but they only go to coastal regions. Jarl Andhoy was arrested and fined when he traveled to Antarctica without permission. We do have many pictures of the ice wall, but due to the treaty, we are restricted from going down there.
So, there's a 360-degree ice wall that holds in all the oceans, okay? And then there's also these tours that go down to coastal regions, but then you don't see the ice wall. Now, I'm sorry, but coastal regions would be where the wall would need to be to hold in the water. Unless you're saying that, well, you don't actually need the ice wall to hold in the water because it's just a landness. Yeah, this is why obviously you started with it may or may not exist. Yeah, because that whole thing just sounded bollocks.
On the flat Earth model, the sun circles over the Earth in a clockwise manner and fades off into the vanishing point of perspective, or the horizon. The sun does not actually sink to the ground, but rather it gets further and further away until the observer can no longer see it. The sun is not 93 million miles away, as modern astronomers claim, but it is obviously closer and smaller. The sun only gives light to about half of the plane, while the other half is night. Although there has been much debate about this in the community, I think we can all agree that it is the sun circling above us, not the other way around.
Except, if the sun was that close, it wouldn't work, would it? Because we know that if you use several sticks at several locations, I'm going simple here, you can plot the shadows. Those shadows don't work with a local sun once you start adding more than 2 points of reference. So, bollocks to that. As for the sun fading off into the distance, get a solar filter. It doesn't fade off into the distance. You can see it going behind something that is blocking it. If you don't want to say that's the curve, that's fine. But it obviously goes down. Even the ancient Egyptians knew it went down, not that it disappeared. So if you're going to use the ancient Egyptian model of a flat Earth, they still thought the sun went beneath the flat Earth. So you're a bit screwed there, aren't you, matey? And I love how you don't mention the fact that the sun would need to speed up for the southern hemisphere. And I've got this as well. Now, on this picture here, I plotted noon over Africa when it was over the equator. It was one of those parallaxial noons. I can't remember the word now. And then I also plotted where sunrise was and where sunset was at the time that it was noon in Africa. That's the circle that then gets made by the sun shining. So my next question would be, why does the sun not shine in a circle on your imaginary model? Yeah. More questions than you have answers for, really, isn't there? It doesn't work.
Ships do not disappear over the horizon, but rather they disappear into the horizon, with the vanishing point of perspective. The argument of ships going over the curve can be easily debunked by using telescopes, binoculars, and good zoom cameras to bring ships back into view of the observer. No matter how good the zoom is on the camera, ships will never be able to be brought back into view if they went over the curve. This is proof that the ship only appeared to disappear because of vision and perspective, not the curve.
How about no? This has been covered more times than I've had sloppy wanks, for Christ's sake. You can bring back detail on the boats, but you're never going to see the bottom of the boat zooming in on it, are you? Until the boat gets goddamn closer. This has been shown time and time again, and when flurfers go, look, I brought it back. No, you can just see the top in better detail. You're still missing the bottom section, especially on big boats. They're the best ones to use, because you can see the actual missing bit a lot better when the boat then comes close. The small boats you're not seeing as much, and don't forget, refraction is a thing as well, for Christ's sake.
Just because the Earth is flat, that does not mean that your eyesight is infinite. The human eye can only see a certain amount of distance on a clear day, and even less on a cloudy day. It would be impossible to see across an entire ocean because the human eye cannot see that far. It has everything to do with perspective and nothing to do with the curvature of the Earth.
So our eyes are limited and can't see that far, except when we go up on mountains or in plains and we can see much further. So it's no limitation of our eye really, is there? And in your sort of model thing that you have for the sun and moon that are above us, aren't they about 3,000 miles away? So should we not be able to see at least 3,000 miles? And then aren't the stars above them? So in theory we can see even further than that. So you're cherry picking your ideas here, and it's slightly fucking annoying. So stick to one thing. Either it's perspective or it's limits of our eye. It can't be both when we know we can see further than that anyway.
On the Red Bull dive from 128,000 feet, you can notice that the outside cameras are wide-angle lenses, while the inside cameras are not. In other words, the outside cameras have added curvature, but the inside cameras show a flat plane through the window. Not only that, but he lifted off from New Mexico, where already the curvature from the cameras started early on, and all we see in the view is New Mexico. Either the whole Earth is New Mexico, or it is a wide-angle lens. Notice how the Earth isn't spinning either.
The Baumgartner jump wasn't there to prove the Earth had any fucking curve anyway. It was just there as a, I want to see how high I can jump. And he did, and fair play to him, he jumped from fucking high up. Now, yes, they used wide-angle lenses on it. And yes, there were other fucking cameras on there. Please see picture here. Please also see link down below for Metabunk. Jesus fucking Christ. And I love how you put that little bit at the end. Oh look, the Earth isn't spinning either. Nah, yeah, the Earth is spinning. Now, the thing is though, when Baumgartner took off, he was already moving at 1,000 miles an hour based on the spin that he picked up from Earth. You know, conservation of movement and all that lot, or momentum. So, as he's going up, he's basically spinning already. So, what would you expect to see? Would you expect to see the Earth speed up or him slow down? He's already moving at that speed. For Christ's sake, these are simple, basic concepts, to be fair.
This question is not possible to be answered because no human being knows what is underneath the Earth. The The farthest any human being has ever dug is 8 miles, so not even heliocentrists know what's inside the Earth. When people think of a flat Earth, they think of a disk in outer space, but the whole concept of outer space is ludicrous, with the baller theory. Many ancient cultures across the plane support the notion of Earth being held upon pillars, but the fact of the matter is, no one can ever know for sure what is beneath the Earth.
Bollocks. We've got a very good understanding of what is inside the Earth. Now, we know there's a crust, because that's where the tectonic plates are. This is where we get tectonic drift. We know there's mountains caused from it. We know there's earthquakes caused from it. This is all moved along by the mantle, the gooey little bit inside that's really hot. And we know this based on seismic waves, how they travel, and how when we send radar images through the crust, it bounces back in certain ways, bouncing off the outer and inner core, all at different frequencies, taking different levels of time. This is not something that is like, oh yeah, we've got no idea. No, we're pretty sure. We know how volcanoes are caused. We know how earthquakes are caused. We know there's tectonic drift. These are things that don't seem to work on a flat Earth, but we understand very well on a globe.
No, on the flat Earth model, the Earth is stationary and is motionless. Earth is sitting still beneath our feet, and it is actually the celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, that revolve around us. No one has ever, can ever, and will never experience motion from the Earth, which is astonishing because mainstream science says that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour while hurtling 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, with the solar system shooting 500,000 miles per hour through the Milky Way while traveling 670 million miles an hour through space. Yet we can feel none of this.
So, the stars rotate above us, but there's 2 points of rotation. There's one in the north and one in the south. How does that work on a flat Earth? And there's also this.
But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15 degree per hour drift.
Thanks, Bob Super Noodle Doodle. Couldn't have done that without you. Yeah, 15 degree per hour drift. Or 1 rotation per 24 hours. Or 0.000694 revolutions per minute. Yeah, because you don't measure fucking rotation in miles per hour, because that's just fucking stupid. But, yes, that works out to that stupidly 1,000 and whatever miles per hour that you flat earthers keep banging the fuck on about. So, yeah, and as for the you surely should feel it going round the sun and going through space, why would you? At what point of reference would you expect to feel this? The thing you are standing on with its gravitational force is moving, yes. What force is then going to act upon you to show you that something is moving in the other direction? Nothing. As long as it's a constant movement of speed, you are fine, or a very, very slow increase or very, very slow decrease. When you're sitting on a plane and get up, you don't get flung to the back of the plane, do you? No. And even asking that makes me sound fucking stupid, because we all know that's not going to happen. You are being a moron.
It might sound crazy at first, but satellites do not exist. NASA claims to have satellites, space stations, and telescopes out in outer space, sending back fake CGI images and videos for everyone to eat up. The truth is, however, these are all hoaxes, and that explains all of the terrible CGI editing we receive. Just think about it. If there are really over 10,000 satellites orbiting Earth as we speak right now, then why can't we see any pass in front of the moon? Not even small specks. The concept of satellites was originally created by a Freemason science fiction writer named Arthur C. Clarke in a magazine titled Wireless World in 1945. There are thousands of miles of fiber optic cables in the oceans that supply up to 90% of communication, internet, and phones on Earth. GPS runs off ground-based cell towers. Satellite TV dishes, which existed before satellites, are almost always aimed at a 45-degree angle directly towards the nearest cell tower. NASA has been caught using camera trickery with the ISS space footage and using multiple green screen effects with astronauts in harnesses to fake the appearance of zero gravity. Bubbles have been caught floating near astronauts, and NASA even admits that they do training in underwater facilities.
Bollocks. Just bollocks again. You can get photos of satellites from Earth. If you're really good and got a reasonable telescope, you can take them yourself. People do. There's pictures coming up any minute that I'm going to show you a shedload of. And there's one guy who says, yeah, look, I captured this going in front of the moon. Maybe, yeah, they're small, and if you've got your stuff good enough, you can. But what you can take photos of quite regularly is the ISS. So that does pass in front of the moon quite often, and if you're in the right location and you've got a telescope or you've got a good camera, you can take pictures of this crap.
The pictures we see from NASA of Earth from space are badly photoshopped. It is so obvious that even they admit to photoshopping the cartoons, such as data visualizer and designer Robert Simon, who once said, "It is photoshopped, but it has to be." This only proves that these blue marble images are not real, but fake cartoons that NASA has given the public. After analyzing many of the images, you can see that there are duplicated cloud patterns, and in one of the recent releases, they spelled the word sex into one of the clouds. The oceans aren't even the same color. Neil deGrasse Tyson said that the Earth is an oblate spheroid, or pear-shaped as he likes to call it, but this contradicts the images NASA has of a perfect spherical Earth. There are no pictures of Earth from space, but fake photoshops that we've believed are real.
Right, first things first, it is Photoshop because it has to be. Because it did have to be. It was a set of low orbiting fucking satellites that took the photos. It wasn't able to render all of Earth in one fucking go, let alone half of it. So, they took all the pictures that the satellites took, stitched them together, but there are a couple of gaps. So that's where the Photoshopness comes into. And of course there's going to be repeats in the cloud patterns, because as it's coming round and round, those clouds are fucking moving, you moron. And even if they weren't, they were missing gaps. They're going to copy bits in. So screw on that. Sex in the clouds, you're just seeing what you want to see. I looked at that with it muted to not hear what you were going to say. I didn't see the fucking word sex. Right, that's that crap. Then look at Himawari 8 that takes photos of the Earth every single day. Fucking lots of them. That's not goddamn NASA. And then Oblate Spheroid. Look at this. So, could you spot the 0.3% difference? I don't think you fucking could. So, yeah, perfect circle that you see from NASA is basically what you see. The difference is so goddamn minute. Jesus Christ. Right, as by my count, we've done 10 of these so far. Now, I'll be fully honest, I didn't do 2 of them, I skipped 2. One was circumnavigation, and one was the moon from different angles, southern and northern hemisphere, wise upside down, because it adds nothing to the argument in either way. So, we deleted them. If you want to see the whole bits, go check out the video, links in the description below. But yeah, that's 10 out of 33 really. Now, do you want me to do the other 23 of these fucking things? If you do, leave a comment down below saying yes or whatever, and I'll crack on, I'll do them over the next couple of weeks, and we'll finish these. And we'll look at more of the FE Start website if that's what everyone wants. Leave your comments, let me know. This channel is made by what you want to see. If you want to see it, I will do it. Apart from getting naked, that's just something no one wants to see. Shame. Anyway, I am the Sarcastic Barman. I've gone through all the comments. Don't forget to like, share, comment, all that down below. Feel free, buy one of my hoodies. It's getting to winter. Everyone needs a good hoodie. And if you really like me, feel free, join my Patreon. Don't forget to check out the shills. We've got Simon Dan coming up. Finally, yay, as long as he doesn't have another marathon to run between now and then. Jeez, him. Anyway, thank you very much. Good night.